Hey everybody, it's Monday, it's 2 p.m., so we're going live today to talk about a super fun topic. Today we're going to be talking all about how to become a magnetic manifestor. This is a topic that's so fun. This is going to be just a super fun live today. I can't wait to talk to you guys about all the things. So let me start off with introducing you guys to me. If you've never been exposed to me before, my name is Danielle Massi. I'm a licensed psychotherapist, intuitive shadow worker, and I'm just so thrilled to be able to talk about manifesting today because this is a topic that is severely misunderstood for so many reasons. Hey, Kristen. Manifesting is one of those things that's like a buzzword right now. Like everybody's talking about it. When I scroll through TikTok, it's like constantly people talking about manifestation, but I can tell that they're talking out of their ass and they have no idea what they're talking about. And there's reasons why, and I'll get into that. So let me start with one of my favorite TikToks on this topic. If you guys have seen it, there's that one that has that really catchy song that goes with it. Ching, ching, ching goes the money tree. And every time it chings, money comes to me. It all flows in so abundantly from the left, right, top, and up under me. You guys know it. You've heard this song before if you have a TikTok. I feel like it comes up constantly. The reason why I like this is because it's making manifestation into something that people realize is accessible to them. Anyone, and I mean anyone, can manifest. And there's science behind why it works. There's actual science, proven facts that show why manifestation is real, why it works, and how to integrate it into your life. But everything that I see misses one key piece. And this is the most important for me because as the shadow queen, we need to address our shadows. Shadow, for those of you guys who don't know about it, is just the unconscious mind. It's everything that keeps you down and weighs you down and keeps you stuck within the unconscious. All the repressed traumas and hidden truths that we hide from ourselves. And so when we're manifesting, we're essentially calling in a higher version of ourselves. We're bringing in this future version of us. We're reeling it in close and we're making it come to life. But if you have shadows, you really can't do that so well because all that shadow is going to weigh you back into your past instead of letting you be propelled forward into your future. So let's talk about the science of manifestation and how it works, like the really nitty-gritty basics. So let's start by understanding how your reality is constructed. Every second of every day, you are constructing your reality. And by the time you hit your 30s, your reality tends to look very kind of steady. Same thing every day. You wake up, you eat similar breakfasts, you go to the same job, you hang out with the same friends, you watch the same movies or the same style of things, listen to the same podcasts, go to bed at the same time. Your experiences tend to just be over and over again the same thing. Hey, Jenny. So as that happens, as we repeat all of these experiences and we go through them and we have this repetition, what happens is that our brains tend to lay out very specific neural pathways. Neural pathways are just like superhighways in the brain. And as you live your life, they can change, they can move, they can be manipulated. But more often than not, they tend to stay pretty similar. They tend to be pretty stagnant. And that happens because our lives become stagnant. We become steady. And so our brains, with all this amazing ability to change and to move and to grow, become complacent. And when that happens, they really get into a set of habits. And that is how we end up where we are, where we're eating the same things and doing the same things and talking to the same people and liking the same shit day in and day out. If we break this process down, it's really just a feedback loop. And so let me break down the feedback loop for you. It starts with our experiences. Every experience that you have is taken in by the brain as input. And as your brain receives this input, it creates those neural pathways in the brain. And so let's just say you're having the experience of watching this video right now. Maybe this is something you like to do. You like to learn, you like to grow, see what's out there, just taking in new information. The brain takes that experience and it goes, okay, this is something this person does all the time. Let's add that into the highway that we already know. How does that make us feel? And so what happens next is that chemicals are produced in the brain, also known as emotions. If this makes us feel good, happy chemicals will be produced. And so that chemical response is triggered. These chemicals are just messengers. And so these emotions, these chemicals, send a message down the body through the vagus nerve, which is a big, long cranial nerve that exists from about the base of your brain all the way down your spine. And it sends these chemicals down as messengers to tell the body how to respond. And so maybe the body is like, okay, we got the message, we like this thing. Our heart rate can slow, our breathing can come, we can really be focused in, we can just kind of be present and aware, the body goes relaxed, right? When the body reacts that way, it has to complete the loop. So it sends a message back up through the vagus nerve, through the enteric nervous system. And this message shows up in the form of a thought in the mind. And so the thought is, I like doing this. I like listening to people speak about topics. And so that would reinforce the initial experience of sitting down to watch a talk in the first place. And now the loop is created. So think about this feedback loop, right? We have our experiences, our emotions, our physical reactions, and our thoughts, which then create new experiences. That's the loop. And this loop happens to us all day, every single day, for every moment that you go through anything. You don't recognize that it's happening subconsciously. Unless it's very triggering, then you might be aware of some of these processes in your body. So let's just say you're very triggered by something, right? Let's say you have an experience of watching a scary movie and it is triggering because it's reminding you of being a kid and being afraid of what's underneath your bed. This experience creates a lot of anxious chemicals in the brain. Anxiety is created by adrenaline and cortisol. Those chemicals move down the body and create a physical reaction of increased heart rate, sweating, palms sweating like crazy, feeling like your breathing is getting shallow, getting tense, you want to run away or hide. That sends the message up of we don't like this. This reminds us of when we were young. It solidifies that loop of we don't like scary things, and it all just kind of sinks in there. We have the same experiences every single day. 90% of your thoughts repeat every single day. And so what happens is these feedback loops tend to just be cyclical. They go on and on and on and on and on. And all of our experiences just keep replaying over and over. And so think about anybody, right? We all have big dreams. We have big goals. We have things we want to accomplish. We have things we want to say that we did. And it's so hard for us to do them. Not because we don't have the desire, not because we don't have the willpower. It's because of these subconscious feedback loops. Yeah, 90% is the actual statistically researched number. 90% of our thoughts repeat every single day. When we have these feedback loops that are repeating over and over and over again, it is hard for us to do anything new because we want to stay in what's our safety zone. Our brains like consistency because if I've had this experience before, I know how the feedback loop is going to go. I don't need to create new neural pathways. We don't need to deviate from the set circumstances. We can stay the same. We can stay safe. When we push outside of that, when we expand ourselves out and do something new, then the whole feedback loop system is now messed with. Because if we're having a new experience, what the hell emotions are going to be created? We don't know what chemicals to produce for that. We don't know how that's going to go, which means we don't know the physical reaction our body's going to have. We don't know what thoughts are going to pop into our mind, and we don't know how that's going to impact our next experiences. It is completely overwhelming for the body to contemplate creating change because of this feedback loop, because it's unknown. If there were a guarantee that something was going to work out, it would be much easier. Which is why when you see anybody talking about manifestation, the advice is always the same. Think about what you want, know it implicitly, understand where it is that you're heading, and then pretend like it's already happening. The reason why that's the advice that you hear all the time is because if you were to follow that advice to the letter, what would happen is you would start to dream up what it is that you want. So imagine you're creating this world in your head where you're living in a beautiful house in the woods and there's a nice little waterfall nearby and your kids get off from school and they come home and you're there because you don't have to work that 9 to 5 anymore and life feels easy and everything's just good. Imagine that. And when you imagine that, what happens is you're actually creating an experience in the brain. The brain is unable to tell the difference between real and imagined experiences. It's the same reason why when you watch that scary movie, you're so frightened, like it's happening to you, but it's not happening to you. And this is because of what are called mirror neurons. The brain is very empathic. The brain feels things even when it's not happening to you because of mirror neurons. And so when you watch a stupid show like Tosh.0, where you see someone getting hurt, you feel that pain in your body. Not to the extent that they did, but you feel a reaction. It's not like you're watching a blank screen. You're watching someone hurt, you feel it in your body. Or why when you hear about a celebrity death that you felt like connected to this celebrity, or even if you didn't, you feel it. You feel sad in your body. It's because of mirror neurons. And so when you manifest, if you can imagine that future scenario that you want to happen, and you can envision it like it's happening now, you are interrupting that feedback loop in a way that feels safe. You're creating a new experience, which changes your neural pathways and changes the emotions because you already decided how you're going to feel about it, which means that those emotions move down to the body and creates physical reactions. Those physical reactions create a thought of this feels good, this feels right, which reinforces that experience. And so when you do that, when you manifest in this way, what happens is you're creating that new feedback loop, and it's being solidified, and it is easy to make it happen. This is why manifestation works. Here's where we get stuck, the shadow. If you have any shadow, if you have unconscious thoughts that are sort of like living beneath the surface, things that are repressed, traumas, things that you're carrying around about unworthiness or control, what happens is as you imagine that feedback loop, maybe it works fine the first time, maybe it works okay the second time. Maybe by the third time, there's starting to be holes in this whole thought process where you think that can't happen to me. I'm unworthy of this. That's never going to happen for someone like me. My parents always told me that I was a piece of shit. It's never going to go down. What happens is the unconscious mind sabotages this new feedback loop. The unconscious mind steps in and overrides the manifestation. And so if you're going to manifest anything, if you're going to create this dream life that you want to have, you have to tackle your shadows first. Because when you do, nothing can stop you. You just pull in that future version of you and you make it happen now. And it really is that easy. If you want to become a magnetic manifester, all you have to do is to do your shadow work. Period. That's it. It really is that simple. So for those of you guys who've been interested in doing shadow work, but maybe Create Your Light Academy is too big of an investment, or you don't have the time to do something like that, there are ways to do shadow work on your own without actually stepping into a higher ticket program. And here's one of those ways. I just recently created a journal, a workbook for you to do, where you're going to be given prompts. And as often as you will allow yourself to do it, you can sit down and use these prompts and start exploring your own shadow. And every time you're given a prompt, all you have to do is just write the answers from a place of within. Like, close your eyes and just answer the question. Whatever comes through, let it come through. And this journal is going to be available on Amazon at the end of this week. And so if you're interested in picking one up, all you have to do is shoot me a DM and I'll make sure that you're on the wait list to pick it up. It's so important that we're all looking into our traumas, our heaviness, the things that have happened to us throughout our childhoods. We have to understand why we are the way that we are, where we come from, the things that hold us back and stop us. And when you can master that, you become magnetic. I hope this was helpful for all of you guys. Please don't hesitate to message me if you have any questions about any of this stuff. I'm happy to help you. And I'm so excited for this journal to drop. It's only going to be $15, easy and accessible for everyone who wants to do their shadow work. I love you guys all so much. Thanks for tuning in live, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, everybody.